In 2018, I lived in London for 2.5 months and I did my internship there as a part of the Erasmus Plus Traineeship Program. And many of you asked me about it, and I talked about it briefly in my last video, the Q&A about Europe, and I decided to make not one, but 2 videos dedicated to the program, to my internship, and to helping you find the perfect internship for you abroad. So, this video is going to be all about the program itself and my experience in London, and the next video is going to be about how you can apply, where you can find your offer, and everything you need to do before leaving for your traineeship abroad. So if you're interested in learning all about that, continue watching this video. Hi, I'm Laura. Welcome back to my channel. I make new videos every week and I talk about traveling, veganism, minimalism, learning, and lifestyle design. And if you like this type of content, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and follow me on Instagram if you want to be up to date with everything I'm doing, every single one of my projects, and if you want to see pretty pictures of myself. I love Instagram. I'm always there. You can also join our free Facebook group if you want to join our community of like-minded, inspired people. And also you can become a patron of this channel if the videos that I'm making are valuable, if you're learning from me, and if you want to support me, you can become a patron. All of the links are always in the description of all of my videos. So if you're here, you're probably a student, right? I have many videos dedicated to studies, earning, saving money, living as a student, so you can watch all of them later. And I hope that this video and my next video are going to help you with your traineeship, and I'm gonna tell you all about it. So in this video, as I said at the beginning of the video, we're going to cover what the Erasmus Plus program is and what it means to go on a traineeship with them. And I'm going to tell you about my traineeship and what I did and what it was like for me. And there are going to be a few clips from my London time, so yeah, it's going to be super interesting. And even before we begin, I want to tell you that I have 2 new digital courses coming up. One about how to speak with an American accent, and the second one is a business course for women and for language mentors. And I'm going to be making more videos dedicated to career advice and career advice for students and for language mentors. So that content is coming up on my channel, but if you would like to learn with me, you can sign up for the waitlist and learn all about the course and join us if you want to learn from me. But that's it, let's just jump right into it. So the Erasmus Plus program is probably familiar to you if you're from the European Union. Basically, this is the program that is the most popular program, the most popular student exchange program if you want to go abroad to study for a semester or 2. So you probably already know that, but if you didn't, this is what it is. Mainly, the Erasmus Plus program deals with the student exchange. So if you want to go and study somewhere, but not many people know that you can actually go and work abroad within the program. And this is something that I didn't once know. Like in 2017, I think I learned about this program and I was like, wow, I can go abroad, I can work somewhere, and I can get paid for it. I mean, I can get my allowance for it. So when I learned about it, I was like, okay, I have to take this opportunity. Just to clarify, I had never been on an exchange. So I started studying in 2014 and I finished my BA in 2017. And in 2017, I started my master's program. And when I learned about the Erasmus was even before my BA, but I knew that I wouldn't go somewhere to study abroad with this program because I just didn't want to. I always wanted to study abroad, but I knew that if I went somewhere, that would be like forever. That would be permanent. So I didn't want to go somewhere for a semester and then come back. That didn't make sense to me personally. However, when I learned about the traineeship option, I was like, sign me up. I need to go somewhere to work and come back. And I was hooked when I first learned about this program, this part of the program, because I wanted to go somewhere during the summer, and if I went somewhere, to study abroad, that would be during the academic year, and I didn't want to go anywhere during my academic year. So the traineeship program was the perfect fit for me. And in the description box, you will find all of the information about the program. So I'm going to give you an overview of the program, but all the details are going to be on the official website, as well as on the website of your own university, because they probably have this section on their website that describes everything about the program for the students of that university. So I'm going to guide you through it. I'm going to tell you what it is. And in my next video, I'm going to tell you how you can apply, what to do, everything. And I want you to know about the program, but remember that I don't know everything, and you should always double check and verify everything that I'm saying, see if that's true for you and for your university. So as I said, the Erasmus Plus Traineeship Program allows you to go somewhere to work abroad, and this is a perfect opportunity for you if you want to build up your CV, if you want to gain experience, if you want to travel the world and work abroad and see if this lifestyle works for you. You can see whether the country you want to live in will be a good fit for you. This program has so many advantages, and I will also tell you what I learned after my internship at the end of the video. But if that sounds interesting enough for you, if you're this kind of person that would like to work abroad, travel, and be paid for it by a program, this is the perfect opportunity for you. So if you want to go somewhere as an Erasmus Plus trainee, you can go during your BA program, during your master's program, during your doctoral studies, and even when you're a recent graduate. So for 12 months after graduation, you still can go somewhere. And the status of a recent graduate will help you, and they will still help you go somewhere. The minimum period of your traineeship is 2 months, and the maximum period is 12 months. However, if you want to be paid for your traineeship, I mean, not by the employer, but by the program, I think the maximum number of months that you're going to be paid for, given allowance for, is 5 months. But again, check it for yourself. I may be wrong here. That was true for me, and that was true when I checked the website today. But maybe when you're watching it in the future, or maybe if you're from a different country or whatever, just always check whether this is going to be the same for you. So where can you go? That depends on where you live and where you study and where you want to go. So you can go to any European Union country. I don't know about the UK. I was lucky enough because that was 2018 and I went from Poland to London. I mean, from Poland to the UK, and I could do it because the UK was still a part of the European Union. However, I don't know if they are going to be a part of this program anymore. So I know that you can go to the European Union countries, and you can also go to Norway, Turkey, Liechtenstein, Iceland, and the Republic of Macedonia. But again, check it for yourself. Another thing to remember is that if you've already gone on a student exchange program, the period of your exchange may be deducted from your maximum period, so the 12 months of your traineeship. So let's say you already went during your BA on a student exchange program with Erasmus for 1 semester that lasted 4 months. That means that during your BA, you can go abroad with the traineeship program for 6 months maximum. And this resets itself when you start your new program. So after you've graduated from your BA and you start your master's, you get a brand new set of 12 months for you to use. So yeah, that's important if you've already taken the opportunity to travel with Erasmus before. So where can you work in terms of the companies? Well, anywhere, as long as it aligns with your studies. So as you probably already know, I graduated from English, Literature, and Linguistics, and then I got my postgraduate degree in business English, and I majored in linguistics. And I was looking for something that would be aligned with my degree, so with my English studies. And I really wanted to do some work at a university, and that's what I did. I applied for a traineeship at a university in London, and because of my degree, my English studies, and the department of the university I was applying to, that was all aligned and I got my traineeship there. If, for example, I was applying to do my internship I don't know, like a factory to be an engineer, I wouldn't get it because I know nothing about engineering. Maybe they would hire me in their HR or PR or something, like another section in which I could use my PR or HR skills if I had any, but I wouldn't be like an assistant to an engineer. That wouldn't make sense. So you can apply anywhere as long as it aligns with your degree and your program. However, you cannot do your internship at EU organization or at organizations managing EU projects. This is a rule. You cannot go there and your traineeship will not be even considered. You cannot do that. But anything you fancy, anything that sounds interesting to you, anything you want to get your experience in, apply there. And in my next video, I'm going to tell you how to apply, where to find the offers, and how to pitch yourself. The next thing is about getting paid. I already told you that you get some money, and yes, you do. You do get money from the Erasmus Plus Program. However, it depends on, again, where you're going from and where you're going to. So if, for example, you study in Romania and you want to do your internship in Germany, you will get more money because Germany is in the top tier of the countries that are more expensive. So because of that, because living in Germany compared to living in Romania is more expensive, you're going to get more money. If, on the other hand, you live in Germany and you want to do your traineeship in Romania, you will get less money. And all of that is explained again on the official website, as well as on the website of your university, because again, that varies and that differs, and sometimes even universities have different allowance rates for their students because of some other factors. For me, I was going from Poland to the UK, and because the cost of living in the UK is way higher than in Poland, I got the most money that you could get because, again, London and the UK is more expensive. So it all depends on where you are now and where you are going to go. Also, this allowance is a monthly sum of money. So whatever you can see on the website, whichever website you are browsing, that is a monthly installment or a monthly payment. So you will get this money times the number of months you're going to be doing your traineeship for. However, you will get not the whole sum upfront, but you will get 80% of it. So let's say your total sum for your traineeship that you're going to be supported by is 1,000 euros. That means that you will get 800 euros before you leave, and then after you've completed all of the paperwork, once you've come back, you're going to get the remaining 20% back. And you're probably wondering by now, Laura, is this enough? Can you support yourself actually on this allowance? Well, it depends. I will tell you about my story, about what I did and what I was doing in London and what I was paid and everything just in a second. But it all depends. Remember that my experience and the experience of other people may not be your experience. And I'll tell you more about it in a second, but the important thing to remember is that the money that you get from the Erasmus program is yours to use, but you have to pay for everything yourself. So you have to pay for your train or your flight ticket. You have to pay for your accommodation. You have to cover your insurance. You have to pay for your food. You have to pay for any other expenses while you're there. And if you calculate everything, that sum of money that you're going to get from the program may not be enough. And I will have some tips for you when it comes to finances, but just remember that this sum of money may not be enough for you. So yes, it's amazing that you get the money from the program, but it may not be enough. And another thing you may be wondering about, Laura, what about my internship? Do I get paid there? Does my employer pay me? Is she or he going to pay me? And the answer is, you guessed it depends. Because if you apply for an unpaid traineeship, you're not going to get a cent. If you apply for a paid internship, then yes, of course, you're going to get paid. It all depends on the offer. It all depends on the employer. It all depends on what you agree on. It all varies, so I cannot tell you. And of course, it will be nice to get paid But not every internship offer is going to be a paid one. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't go. I'll tell you about my experience and you'll see how my finances were managed and how I did my internship and how I organized everything and how I lived and supported myself in London. For now, remember that it all depends on you. What type of offer you want to go for, what type of offer you want to apply to, everything is up to you and the offer. Okay, and then once you go and you do your traineeship and you enjoy yourself and you're having a good time, once you come back, you have to complete your paperwork, you get a certificate from your employer, and then once everything is dealt with on the university side, you will get your 20% of the remaining allowance back. And that is everything when it comes to the program. If you want to learn more, check out the link in the description box. And now I will tell you about my traineeship. And this will complete everything I said. And if you have any questions, you can always ask me in the comments about anything that I did, anything that I struggled with or maybe enjoyed most. Like if you have any more questions after you watch this video, let me know down in the comments. Okay, so what I did, where I went, and how I organized my life. I went to London and I applied for a few traineeships and I got one response back. And that was from a university, and that was a university in the Department of Linguistics and Language Teaching. And that was perfect for me because as I said, I studied English language and linguistics, and yeah, that was a perfect fit for me. And once I applied, I got this response from them that they were interested in taking me on as an intern, and I had my interview. And this is something that I forgot to mention. There is an interview, probably. So my interview was on Skype, and I talked to the pre-sessional program convener and to the audiovisual and technical manager. Now, I was applying for a position of an assistant to the pre-sessional program convener. Pre-sessional programs in the UK, if you don't know, are summer programs that help international students prepare for their studies in the UK. So let's say you come to the UK and you want to study there, and you're coming from any other country, let's say France, and your English level isn't high enough, your academic English level isn't high enough, isn't good enough for you to start studying at this university. So what you can do is you can sign up for the pre-sessional program and take classes throughout the summer and then take an exam, and your English certificate will be your entry to your university, and your certificate will help you get a place at the university. And you have English classes, you have classes about everything related to your future degree. So if you want to become a lawyer, there are law classes and lectures, and there is probably a social program so you can socialize with other people. So I was applying to be an assistant to the person managing and running the whole program. And that was exciting for me because I really wanted to do my internship at a university. At that time, I was still planning on doing my PhD, but even the thought of being at a university during the summer, like, I know that it sounds crazy because I was studying, like I was always at a university. And where did I go to? A university. Why not? Like, I love being at universities. I love the vibe. So the fact that I was applying for a position that would allow me to be at a British university was a dream. And I had my interview and I got the job and I was super excited. I think my interview was in February and I was supposed to start my internship at the beginning of July, the 1st of July. And all of my finals were held at the end of June. So I was basically tying everything together at the end of June. I was studying for my finals and preparing for my internship. During the interview, I was told what my roles would be, and that didn't mean anything to me. I mean, I couldn't really understand what my roles were. I kind of knew what I was supposed to do, but some of the items on the list were just like, really? Do they want me to do that? For example, there was this item on the list, helping out the social program convener to guide students on trips around London. And I was super excited about it, but I was like, wait, really? Do they want me to do that? I mean, that was an excited doubt. Like, I was like, oh my God, really? is this gonna happen? So I got everything together. I had my interview at my university as well, because this is probably something that you're going to go through as well. You're going to complete your paperwork, you're going to apply within your university as well for a place in the program, and then you're going to have like a short interview with the international office people, and they are going to tell you if your grades are okay, if you can go, and probably you're going to go. So I did that, and on the 30th of June, I went to London with my boyfriend, because yes, we went together. He didn't have an internship secured, even though we were trying to get him an internship. So he went there with me, and I'm super, super grateful for that, because that was the most like romantic thing that he ever did for me, just going there for me, even though he was just like going without anything secured. Like, we didn't even have an apartment secured, but I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, we went there together, and I went there and I was supposed to only do my internship and not have any other job. He, on the other hand, was going to look for a job in London. So we went there and we didn't have an apartment. Now, we started looking for a room or an apartment very, very early on. And I'll talk about it more in my video about looking for an apartment in London, because that's something that I'm going to do again very, very soon. So I'll talk about it more. But we were looking for an apartment for, I think, 3 to 4 months. And we were on Gumtree, and we were on this other website that I forgot the name of, and we were looking for apartments, and we even paid one deposit. That was a mistake, and I don't recommend that you pay anything before you leave, and I knew about it, and people were saying never pay anything before you actually see the place. I can tell you about it more in that video about the apartment searching. But yeah, I lost 300 pounds, and we went to London, and we had talked to a student that we found on Gumtree that was just going home for the summer, and his room in his student apartment was going to be empty, and the apartment was very, very close to the university. And we had talked to him, and he said, look, when you land, give me a call, and when you come to the center, we can arrange a meeting and we can sign everything. You will see the room and you can rent it out if you want. You can rent it out together. And the price of the room was the whole monthly allowance that I was getting in London. So I think my allowance for a month was 600 euros, and that room was 600 pounds for 2 people, which would have meant that I wouldn't have any money to live, like literally, because all of my money would go to paying the rent. And this is where my financial tips come in, because I already told you that I lost some money and I don't want you to repeat that mistake. And I also have a few tips that will help you go somewhere and live abroad and not worry about money. So the first thing is, even if you're not even thinking about going anywhere, just like a common sense tip, start saving up money, put it in an account, put it in a savings account. I have a video about the envelope system that I was using throughout my university years. And this is the most important thing, start saving up money, because then once you've made your decision and you know that you want to go, you already have some money saved up. So this is the first thing that you have to do, start saving money. I'm not even kidding. The second thing is, once you know that you are going to go on your traineeship, start saving up more. And I mean it. I was working like crazy. I was working as a language mentor. I was just working so many hours because I wasn't getting paid as much when I was still a student, because I was studying full time. So I could only work for so many hours after my classes, but almost everything I earned, I put into my savings account. And when I went to London, I think I had roughly 2,000 euros in my savings account, because I knew that London would be expensive. I knew that I was going to get my allowance from the program, but just in case anything happened and I needed to support myself and support my boyfriend for some time before he found a job, I needed to have some savings, and my boyfriend also had to have some savings. So you always have to have some savings before you go anywhere, especially if you're going to be living abroad and you're going to be doing an unpaid internship, because my internship wasn't paid. And I knew about it. I knew that it wasn't going to be paid. I knew that I probably needed much more money in my savings account before I left, but I still wanted to go. First of all, I knew that this internship would look beautiful on my resume, but secondly, I just really wanted to live in London and work at a university and just do my internship there, be it paid or unpaid. I really wanted to do that. So this is my tip for you. If you know that you're not going to be paid by your employer, and if you know that the money that you're going to get from the program is not going to be enough to cover your expenses, start saving right now. I'm literally not kidding. Start saving right now. And I'm going to make a video about how to take care of your finances as a student, and there's going to be a lot of advice there. So it's coming really, really soon. For now, just start saving money, no matter what you're going to do with your life. Just do it. So I started my internship and I fell in love with everything. I loved the people I was working with. I loved the university. I loved the fact that it was a student program. Like, I was an assistant to a summer program for students. So I was helping the program convener, I was helping out the teachers, but I was also hanging out with the students. And I got to know so many people, and they may be watching it right now. If you know me from London, let me know in the comments. But I met so many incredible people, and I was doing so many things for them. I was helping them out, and I was just living my dream life. I was in the perfect place at the perfect time. So as I said, there were a few things that I needed to do. I was taking minutes during meetings, I was copying things, and I was printing things out for the students and for the teachers, and that was like the most pleasurable experience of my life because I'm a huge stationery lover, and being stuck by a copier and just printing things out and clipping them together for hours was just the best thing for me. People came to me to copy anything for them, and I was always happy, and they were like, oh my god, thank god this weird girl loves doing it because I hate it. I don't think they talked about me that I was a weird girl. I don't think anyone called me that. They were calling me sunshine, so that was beautiful. The next thing I was doing is I was talking to the students before their lectures. So that was like a huge training in public speaking because I was talking to 400 students at a time. Imagine there's a lecture and a lecturer comes and gives the lecture, and after that you have a Q&A section, but not with the lecturer, but with the person who asks you questions about this lecture to see how much you've understood because you're taking your English exam at the end of the summer. I was this person. I was taking notes during lectures, and after the lecture was over, I was standing on the stage and I had a piece of paper in my hand and I was talking through a microphone to 400, 500, 600 of students, and I was asking them if they understood the lecture. Like, do you remember what this person said about this? And oh my god, that was terrifying because and now I realize how it was all meant to be for me. That was even more terrifying because every lecture and every Q&A session was being recorded. And one more thing that I needed to do was to edit the recordings and upload them to the student website. Imagine speaking publicly to people that you don't know every single week, twice a week, being recorded while doing that and watching yourself and editing yourself afterwards. You may be thinking, Laura, you're crazy. I'm watching you right now and you have 40,000 subscribers and you're talking to a camera and you're watching yourself afterwards when you're editing your video. I didn't have a channel back then. I started my channel in 2019, so a year after. I was terrified. I was petrified. Watching myself was just like, I love giving presentations, but watching myself, hearing myself, just like editing myself was, oh my god, that was just so, I learned so much. I got used to my voice, I got used to my posture, I got used to the way I looked on camera, but that was just so bizarre. But I learned so much, and now I'm doing it. I'm doing it almost full time, so thank you, Laura. for having done that. Another thing I was doing was I was helping out the social program convener. So the social program contained of a few trips during the week and on the weekends. And my job as an assistant was to help the person who was taking the students on the trips during the week and then help them out during the weekend. That was an exciting part of my traineeship, and I think that I'm the most grateful for this part because I was working at the university Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And after me and my boyfriend came home from work, we were almost always exhausted. That means we never really went out and explored London together. But this social program meant that I was exploring London, and this is the most exciting part, I got money for my food and my travel expenses. So during the week, we were exploring London and I got money for the things that I was buying on that trip, for example, entry tickets, and I was also paid for any meal I had during the trip. As you can imagine, I tried out every single vegan restaurant in London because I loved it and I had the opportunity, and that meant that I didn't have to pay for it myself. I used the company money, the university money, to pay for my food, and that was amazing. So during the week, I was doing that together with my boyfriend. I was just like, I know you're tired, but you have to come because you want to see London and this is the perfect opportunity for us. So let's just go. So we were helping the guide to guide the students around London. And at some point he said, look, you can do this yourself. And I was guiding the tours and I felt amazing because I want to be a travel guide. I want to show people the world. If you've seen my Wrocław video, you know that. And I was being paid, literally, like I got paid for my meals and for anything I was buying on the trips. And I was being paid to guide people around London. I wasn't even a Londoner, but I did it because I knew London, I loved London, and I was talking to the students about London, and I loved these trips. So these were the weekday trips, and on the weekends we went to different places in the UK. We went to Brighton, we went to Cambridge, we went to Oxford. Like I got to see all of these places. And again, my train ticket was paid for and I got paid for every single meal I was having on these all-day trips. Like I was living the dream, honestly. So that was a part of my internship as well. So technically I didn't get paid, but I got paid when I was doing the things for the university. And there were a few more things that I was doing. I was a part of the induction day and the orientation for new teachers arriving. I helped organize the final exam for the students. So there were many things that I was doing and I enjoyed every second of it. Like the 2.5 months I was in London for, I'm still in touch with the people I met, be it students or teachers or the program conveners. We are still in touch. I love thinking about this time. Like, I was so happy. I was living the dream. I was being paid for doing what I wanted to do, and I got so much experience. I learned so much, and a fun fact for you, I was trying to be a vlogger because, as I said, I was being filmed anyway during the lectures. And I thought to myself, well, I probably will want to look back on this time and maybe I should start filming myself. So I started filming myself and I think you can see some clips right now. And I was filming these clips with the thought of uploading them at some point to a channel that I would create. But I ended up not doing it because these vlogs are not the highest quality. But I am showing them to you now just to show you how happy I was and show you my surroundings and everything I was doing. And as you can see from my smiley face, I'm so grateful for this experience. I basically made my dream come true. I went to live in London. I was working in London. I got to experience London. And this internship proved to me that I wanted to live in London and work in London. That was such a good time for me and for my boyfriend, for our relationship. Like, for my work experience, the doors that were open and the friendships that I made, that was such a blessing. Just a beautiful experience. And if you have any questions about any part of the internship that I did, you can always ask me. I know for sure that you cannot apply for the same position at the same university because now this position is for internal students only. Back then it wasn't. I actually created this position for myself. It hadn't existed before I reached out to the university. It was only when I reached out to them that they realized that they needed an assistant. So I was their first assistant, and a year later I recommended a friend of mine and he did the internship there, and then they decided to offer this position only to their internal students. So you cannot apply to QMUL, you cannot do that, but maybe another university will take you if you'd like to do a similar internship. So if you have any questions, leave them down below. And now the final part, was it worth it? And should you go? So yes, it was worth it. I loved it, and I've said it a million times. I loved it. I loved my internship. I learned so many things, and I think that the things I learned and I got to experience are going to be the pros on your pros and cons list of should I go or should I not go. By going abroad and doing this traineeship with the Erasmus Plus program, I got to work abroad with some sense of financial security. When you're older, when you're not a student and you're moving abroad, you may or may not have a job secured for you there. But if you're a student and you're going somewhere with Erasmus Plus, you will get some money. So even though this sum of money may not cover everything for you, it is still money. You will still get paid. And that is the financial security that sold this program for me. I wouldn't have gone if it hadn't been for this allowance. Like, I wouldn't have. So definitely a pro for me. I got money for it. You will also broaden your horizons. You will learn the language better. You will learn about the culture and the customs and the history of the place you're going to be in. You're going to see for yourself what it's like to live in this country, and you're going to see if this line of work, this type of work you're going to be doing throughout your traineeship is something that you want to do. And that is invaluable. This type of experience, this type of insight into who you are and who you want to be is precious, like it's priceless. So the fact that I got to go and work at a university and I loved every second of it only proved to me that I was made for it. Like, I was made for doing something like that. I loved every single thing that I was doing. I explored my talents, I explored my personality, like I loved it so much. And you cannot get this experience if you don't try out new things. You can also test yourself and see if you're really made for living abroad and studying abroad and working abroad, because sometimes we think we are and then we move to a place and we realize that it wasn't a good fit or this place wasn't really what we expected. So this is the only way of knowing, to see for yourself. You'll also learn if you like working in an international setting or whether you prefer to work in your native country setting. And this is huge, because if you really enjoy working with people from many countries, from many different places, of many nationalities, and with people who speak different languages, this is going to be amazing for you. If you don't, if you want to just stay in your country and work and use your native language and not any other language, maybe this is not an opportunity for you. But unless you go, you will never know. And another thing is, this is, as I said before, a perfect thing to put on your resume. When your future employer sees that you went somewhere and worked abroad, that shows them dedication, passion, self-reliance, independence. That shows them so much about your personality and your experience, because they see that you took the plunge and you went somewhere and you had the balls to do it. And also you can connect traveling and working and even having vacation, because I was traveling in summer to many places that I would have never gone to on my own during the summer, because there were so many tourists there, like in Cambridge and in Oxford. But imagine working and living in Alicante, Spain. Like, that would be a work summer vacation almost. Like, imagine that. This is a perfect opportunity for you to try this lifestyle out. You get to network with people in your field. The number of people I met, the sole fact that I secured my PhD program, like a place in a PhD program there, with one of the best linguists in the world as my supervisor, that was huge. You'll gain new skills, you'll gain new knowledge, and you'll make friends, and you'll find yourself. And I highly recommend going on an internship abroad just for this reason alone. Finding yourself, understanding yourself, learning who you really are. And I think I will end this video right here, and I am waiting for your questions. And thank you so much for watching this video. My next video is going to be how you can apply for a traineeship. I hope I told you everything, but if not, you can find me in the comment section. And that's it for this video. Go and watch some other university related videos of mine, and I'll see you in my next video. Remember to subscribe and follow me on Instagram. You'll find me there as well. Okay, bye.